We're here at the garden. This is Emily, one of our head gardeners and potters, actually. Isn't it beautiful? So these are all of our students. Our second year is going on right now. Probably 4 years ago, we sat down and we were like, do we want to use the garden for the schools? The answer became very clear, yes, if it's sustainable and if it actually works. So we actually remodeled the garden. We terraced it and we put in drainage so that it wouldn't wash away, and we did boxes, and so the students actually get here and then they plant most of the garden and then they tend to it over the 6 months. It's a very healing, deep rhythm of getting your hands in the dirt, being with the Lord, seeing things grow, tending to things, weeding things. We just love what a deep part of the discipleship process that it actually is to be in the garden and to have to tend to it every day, just like we have to tend to our hearts every day. A huge theme of all of our schools is your heart is a garden, and it's worth taking care of. To be able to have an actual garden where they can be in that space and work really hard in it, but then to see the reward of it and to be able to plant the tomatoes and then harvest the tomatoes, or plant the basil and make the pesto and all those beautiful rhythms. It's really, really exciting. So we can walk in. Squash! These will be covered in vines. It's very exciting. That's our flower garden over there. Emily's carrying a blackberry bush. This is our terrace. These are our students. Say hello.
Hello.
They are working in their plots, weeding, picking. The boys are down the hill where all of our berries are. We've had blackberry vines, I think, for over 30 years. Ken, Jonathan's dad, planted them originally. We just started replacing. That's how long they lasted. So it's perfect North Carolina red clay soil to grow blackberries in. So these are our blueberries and our muscadines, and yeah, it's so beautiful. We tend to this all summer long and winter long. We have a winter garden and a summer garden. It's really awesome, actually. I feel the presence of the Lord here. Every day I come down. Tomatoes. This is Swiss chard. Did you see it? Did you show them the Swiss chard? It's very beautiful. Swiss chard, tomatoes. This is our creeping thyme, which is so beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Our mint. These are phase 2 boys. They are planting and taking care of the blackberries. These are our newer plants. We planted them a couple years ago. Like I said, the other ones lasted 30 years, so I feel like they were doing pretty awesome. And we've got lots of berries. It's very exciting.
What's your favorite part of the garden?
My favorite part of the garden, probably the terrace. It's a great place to have little dinner parties. Usually early in the morning you come down, students are weeding their beds and spending time with the Lord. It's a really beautiful place to get quiet and still, and then also to just get your hands dirty. We've lost a lot of that tactile discipleship that's so powerful when the students actually have to tend something every day, and they have to weed it and water it, and if they forget and they don't do it, the plants suffer. And so I think I just love how easily applicable this space is to the message of their heart is a garden. That feels really rewarding, to actually create a real space that mirrors their heart space. That's why we actually made it about phase 2, our second year school. Yeah, it feels way more purposeful than it ever has because the students have ownership over it. So,
What's the biggest challenge of this garden?
the biggest challenge of this garden is the bugs. The bugs. What are they called? The aphids. Wait, what's the other one? It's like this, the slugs. They're terrible. And then the beetles. The beetles eat so much. So we're constantly trying to do it as organic as possible. It's very difficult, but we don't use pesticides, and we're just trying to get a handle on those bugs. Right, Summer?
Get him out of here.
Get them out of here.
If you see him, kill him.
See them, kill them. Actually, with the blueberry bushes, every year we have this like influx of the craziest, largest grasshoppers. They're like that big. And I was down here one day with Emily, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you just kill them." She reached out and grabbed its head with her hand. Have you seen her do this?
Yes.
Grabbed it and just snapped its head off. I was like, oh my gosh, like huge grasshoppers. Emily, I was telling him how you pick the grasshoppers and you just snap their heads off.
I just squeeze their heads. If you just squeeze the
It's
head,
so disgusting.
if you just squeeze the head, it dies.
I was telling Cadence that the hardest part of the garden is the bugs.
Oh Lord.
The aphids, the slugs, the grasshoppers, the beetles.
Yes.
Did I get them all?
And squash bugs and the squash vine borers and there's a long list.
There's a long list. We're trying to be as organic as possible.
And we're trying to fight for the population of good bugs to do the fighting for us. But all of it takes
Good bugs.
it takes intentionality and
Did you know there's good bugs? Good bugs.
Yes.
We want to raise the population of good bugs.
We need the ladybugs, the praying mantises, the lacewings. We need there's certain wasps that eat caterpillars.
What's the most exciting things that have happened in students' hearts as they've been gardening?
Just last week we were talking about celebrating tiny bits of growth and
Come
just
on.
the heart when you see one tiny leaf and you're like, oh, I'm so used to celebrating just the big moments of
Wow.
life, but there's actually one tiny leaf and it's worth noticing and it's worth celebrating.
I
and
love that.
worth being seen. So
Yeah.
that and just this slowing down and learning what does it actually mean to be good soil. You
Yes.
don't know until you're in
Yeah.
good soil.
We've been talking to students about being the seed and the soil. So actually letting your heart be good soil, but then what does it actually mean to be the seed that's planted in a new place and giving into the surrender of the opening of the seed and all of it. It's been really, really rich. I was walking the other day and one of the girls was down there and I was like, I was watching her for just a couple of minutes and she was just staring. I'm like, what are you looking at? She's like, I have a leaf. One leaf. I was like, wow, this is awesome. They're very excited. One leaf, not fruit, just the leaf. Which means that she tended the seed.
Yeah.
There you have it. Very
There you
good.
have
Very deep. Yeah, they're beautiful. Can you get that tiny little pod? Look at that. It hasn't even shed its shell. I wish I knew the name of everything. That would be an Emily thing. I don't know. Em, have you seen this zucchini? It's huge, huh?
It's a Titanic of a fruit right there.
There's the
Look at
mom.
that. Wow. Maybe zucchini bread. It's very big.
Eggs.
Dolores, how much do you love being in the garden?
It's fun sometimes.
Are you learning you're learning to love it. It's we're learning to love it.
to love it.
It's fair. It's fair.
It's the bugs.
It's the bugs, I know. But we're looking for the good bugs.
No, they're bad. We don't like them. We take off their eggs with duct tape.
Did you hear that? We take off their eggs with duct tape.
Oh, it looks like there's not a lot here. That's good. That's good. If you see any red eggs, they eat holes in the leaves.
We need the good bugs, not the bad ones. You better preach, you know what I'm saying? Lord, bring the good bugs. Good. Thank you for coming to the Place for the Heart Garden.